Hi, my name's Matt. Welcome. If you haven't yet, please smash that subscribe button. Maybe leave me a like. Today we're going to be repairing wires, and some of the equipment that I'll be using are gripple strainers. Really great if you've got gripples. If you don't have gripples, they're pretty useless, but great tool. Really handy. I have a small set of bolt cutters for cutting wire. I have a regular pair of pliers. I can't find my good set, so I'm having to make do with these ones. I have gripples, which is what we use the tool for to strain the wires. Great invention, really handy to use. I have a bucket to put all my excess wire cuttings in. All the little knot ties and everything that comes off will go in here and not in a tractor tyre, and that's it. Watch me repair some rows. Important to remember when you're dealing with wires to wear gloves and glasses and have the appropriate equipment to cut and join wire. Today I'm going to be demonstrating knots and how to tie them. This one is going to be restructured so that it's not going around the pole. We use less gripples this way, but it's not set up the same as the rest of the vineyard. I have a surplus of gripples, so we'll be changing the system over to be able to strain it both sides individually. So what I'm going to do is put new knots, new tails on the ends of these posts. So basically I'm going to put the tails on first. It's important to have the leading side, so we've got the spool on this side, and this is the side that the wire is going to run down, and we'll rejoin it. So the first part of this knot is to go underneath, loosely loop it around, pull it semi-tight, make sure you have a tail left, and you tuck it back on the inside. Bring it around, pull it tight, and put your handle or your kink in, and start spinning around half a dozen times. I'll demonstrate that again, close up. And then once you've got it, you can snap off the tail nice and clean. That leaves the knot nice and clean. Now we're doing the next side, so the spool comes onto the side that the camera is on. And we'll be going around through the same nail. Now to begin with, it's underneath, nice big loop, pull it semi-tight, tuck it in, pull it all the way tight, push it up, kink your handle, that's important, and then begin to wrap. Just take it nice and easy, there's no need to go quick. Kink your handle sideways and then crank it. And it snaps off nice and clean, just like that. Then we'll leave a nice long tail. And we'll cut it with the bolt cutters. Okay, now glasses are important because one of these in the eyeball would cause permanent irreparable damage. So keep it away from your eyes with eye safety. I cut away this wire so you can see exactly what's happening. It's important to have the leading piece of wire, the long piece of wire facing the right direction. Going to go through, going to go underneath the post in this case. This one's already been cut to size, so there's no need to cut it afterwards. Basically, underneath, nice big arch, around, loosen it off a little, tuck that tail back down on the inside, pull it tight again, push the knot towards the post, like so. You can pull that really tight if you wish, and we go back on top again. This kink your handle. Handle's important, and then we crank it around. 2, 3, 4, 5, and twist it that little bit extra and untwist it a little bit, turn the crank handle sideways and then go around, and it'll snap off clean flush with the knot, and there's no jagged bit of wire poking out for the net to catch on. It's just there ready to go. So we have this tail. I'll do one on the other side as well. And I've already joined some figure eights down that end. We'll go and tie those off once the wire has been strained on all these. And with this one, we can slide a gripple on. I take this piece of wire here. Take this piece of wire, we can slide a gripple onto him, like so. On these gripples there's a little arrow just there telling you where you can slide the pieces of wire in there, and there's another one just here, there and there. So we slide the piece of wire in, and we'll slide it up to reasonably close to the post. We'll slide him up to about here, and we'll have all the gripples sitting roughly the same spot. Then we take the wire that's coming from down the row, clean that mud off, and we slide that through the other direction. And my tip is to leave the gripple facing this way. That way it makes the wire quite easy to strain. You can just come along, put your gripple strainer on, strain it. You always want to strain it in this direction. So with the gripple you always want to come from, this side and push the gripple uphill, because what happens is the gripple will stay in the same spot and won't move. But if you do it the other way, it'll push it towards the post. So you want to keep it there, and it'll constantly strain it in the same direction. Now what I'm going to do quickly is put the joint on the other side, because the wire loops. Alright, now there's another twitch off knot here that's quite handy, and it kind of means that you can only twitch the wire from the one direction if you tie the knot off. So what we'll do is we'll strain this wire first. And as for this next knot, what will happen is it will force whoever is straining the wires to only strain it from the one side. Yeah, tail is a little far too long. We'll trim that a bit. Okay. Now use these pliers, pinch him about there, kink a nice tail again, go almost two around, and then back it off and twitch that off. And here we have a knot that can slide along the wire, but it stops you from getting the gripple strainers in there. Now it's been strained, we can cut this off. You don't want it too short because you want the gripples to be able to reach it, but that tail will just tuck there. Any net coming along this way won't get snagged on that wire with any luck. Here is a figure of 8 knot. It's quite a simple knot and it's quite effective. So all I've done is loop the wire, just a nice big loop, and pulled it into a circle just here. The important thing is to keep this wire on top. So at the moment it runs down and then back on top of itself. If you keep that on top and come from the bottom, thread this wire up through the middle, and then we do the same. So it goes around the back of the wire here, and we tie another loop and we tuck it in to the middle like that. Nice loop, tuck it into the middle. Okay, loop, loop, and then we pull the two together, and this is why it's called a figure of 8 knot, because it creates a figure of 8 in the middle. Okay, and we've got these two long tails. We'll show you what we'll do with those in a second. I'll twitch it off at this end. That'll tighten the loop quite a lot. And now we have the figure of 8 and it's nice and tight. Now take our pliers and we just run it back on itself. So I pinch it here, go around, I follow the same pattern as the wire's already in, and the same loop. Twist it around a couple of times. I'm sure you'll have better pliers than the ones I've got. We do exactly the same with the other side. Pinch it off, follow that same wire, kink it, and twist it. 1, 2, 3, or however many you want, really, just as long as there's a couple on there. And now the neck can go straight across that without getting snagged on anything. Nice and easy, no jagged pieces, and smooth. And back up here as we switch off this last knot. These are pliers. Come in, grab it about here. Twitch. Switch. 2, 3, and then, oops, too many actually. Forgot what knot I was tying. We go back to 2. That was a horrible one. Forget that. And put that on there. We'll edit that one out because that was terrible. And one more time with this particular knot, I want to go a little bit lower than where it's actually sitting. So I've already gone around, pulled that one tight, put my kink in, and twist him off. Bucket it off straight. Bucket. Cut my tail. I'll do another quick figure of 8 just in this one. Just so it's got a better tail and I've got a better area to work with. Now remember, you can use little or big set of bolt cutters for this. Either one's fine. Cut him off. I want to keep this in line where the other grippers are, which is about there. Put this one through. Yep. Remember to always strain from the post outward. That stops your gripper from moving. If you strain it from the other side, you will push it towards the post and eventually you won't be able to move it any further and you won't be able to get the gripper strainer in there either. Strain that till it's tight. Cut this tail off. See, now we've still got plenty of room to get at it. Cut it shorter. Wrap that around. Use your pliers and twist off this side so no one's tempted to use it. One and almost another one, and then snap her off. Now we've got a knot that can travel up and down the wire, and we can only strain it from this side practically because trying to get the strainers in there is awkward, nearly impossible. So you're better off straining it from this end. That'll encourage people to push it that way. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. If you haven't yet, please hit subscribe, maybe leave me a like. If you'd like to see anything in particular, could you please leave a comment down below, and I will catch you guys on the next one.